Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. and also Sean Butler TV. If you're watching over there, good to see you too. I hope you're all guys are happy and healthy doing the things you love. I'm here with Johnny H, who's still on vacay, and we have another day's worth of, another 24 hours worth of transfer news, views, and clues on all things football, broader spectrum. I hope Johnny isn't going to start talking to me about what happened in the internationals last night, because this guy refuses on principle to watch games like that. I hate them. I hate the international break. I'm not going to condone it or endorse it. If Johnny wants to talk about it, he can. Either way, we've got lots to talk. We got Rangers, Steven Gerrard, Johnny's second club, his club. Not part of the second club game on the Football Link, but we will talk a little bit about them. Steven Gerrard going back. That's one of Johnny's areas to discuss more than mine. We've also got a lot of transfer news, views, and clues. We've also got some interesting football finance updates to get through as well, with regards some tidbits. I won't spoil the show. Guys, before we get into it, smash the like button if you know what's good for you. Hit the subscribe if you don't know what's good for you. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts on today's topics. For those of you on Football Inc., if you are interested in listening to this stuff after the fact on podcast formats, etc., then we are, of course, on all the podcast platforms. Search for Football Inc. or search in the description. You should find all the links down there. How are you, Johnny? Good to see you, mate. You okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. If you can't be happy in the sunshine in October in Cyprus, then there's no hope for you. And what better thing to be? Love being away during the international break, because I absolutely hate the international break. So if I'm going to be anywhere out the country, is the best place to be. Not a massive fan. I love the World Cup. I love the obviously all the big major tournaments, but the meaningless friendlies like England, Wales were last night, I sort of agree with you. And Tommy Tuchel, he wasn't best pleased with the England fans last night, because they didn't seem too excited either. Judging by the shitty atmosphere.
Talk to me about that, mate. Talk to me about that. Because I've heard the story when I was taking the dog out this morning. I heard it on TalkSport, but I don't know. I point blank refused to watch international friendlies. No chance. So what happened with Tommy Tuchel? What's going on?
He just got a bit. Listen, they had a very good opening 20 odd minutes. Wales were pretty poor. They did better in the second half, but the fans just not up to it. I don't know if it's like kids or what have you there. I didn't watch all the game. I watched some of the highlights, but it seemed the Wales fans were having more fun losing 3-0 than the England fans were winning. I suppose he's used to being in Germany. When if you've been to a game in Germany, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich, Bayer Leverkusen, Frankfurt, the atmospheres there are fantastic. And with the German national team. But ours is a bit like a damn squid. But come on, I mean, maybe if we were playing Brazil or Argentina or Italy or France or somewhere like that, or even Scotland, it probably would have had a better atmosphere. I mean, listen, I think the best...
Was it a sellout last night, Johnny?
I didn't see it as a sellout. Maybe they weren't. He criticised Saka, which was quite funny. He thought he'd scored maybe 30 goals for England until he looked that he scored 13 goals, making him the highest England scorer for Arsenal that's played for Arsenal, I believe, which I was a bit surprised about. No Arsenal players scored more than 13 goals for England. I need to check that one out.
Ian Wright haven't scored 13 goals for England?
Apparently. I need to check that out. I'm not sure how true that is, if someone wants who's in the chat. But I think the best part about the whole time was Jed Spence's post of having Brennan Johnson as his bitch on a chain. Got you again in jail. Have you seen? You saw the?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Very
He's
funny.
a wind-up merchant, isn't he? He's a wind-up.
Yeah,
he's a like face to face. He's probably quiet as a mouse, right? But on the old social media, he likes a wind-up, doesn't he?
Yeah, very funny cartoon, and probably pretty accurate, really. I actually forgot Brennan Johnson was playing. Very much how we found him at Spurs recently. all I can hope for personally, on a personal note, is that Ange Postecoglou carries on at Nottingham Forest, and in the January transfer window, he says, "I want one," and it happens to be Brennan Johnson. Then you can buy it back for 40 million. Don't even need to pay the 47 that we paid you. You can have him back for 40. But they stunk the place out last night, Wales, in the first half. Did better in the first, second, should I say. Joe Rodon and Ben Davis playing at the back. Need I say anymore? And Ollie Watkins colliding with the post, going off at half time.
Oh, really?
So that would probably be a sore one, but I reckon he'll be all right for next week for the Spurs game, unfortunately.
That's all right. He won't. You know what? We'll be fine in that game. We'll be absolutely fine. Let's get into some stories, mate. Let's start with this news that Steven Gerrard is he's looking like he is imminent. He's had, according to reports a couple of hours ago, the Rangers Review, TalkSport are talking about it right now. They're saying that essentially he's back in. He's closing in on a sensational return for 4 years after Ibrox's exit. He's held positive face-to-face talks with Chairman Andrew Kavanagh and Vice Chairman Marathi in London on Thursday. I don't know if I might be butchering his name there. And he led Rangers to the Scottish title during his first stint in charge. Quickly emerged as the Gerrard's top target after sacking Russell Martin on Sunday night. Johnny, obviously Rangers are your second club, mate. So I'll let you talk about this one.
Well, I don't know whether Danny Roll is definitely out the picture. The Sheffield Wednesday boss. He's also on the short list. Actually, you know who's up there? Who left Spurs after the Don was sort of forced out? Is Greta Steinson. He's up there having left Spurs, and he's part of the recruitment group for the 49ers. Did you say sensational return? Was it the sensational return? Did you say?
That's how it's been written.
Sensational. Look, I think
sensational when he was manager. I mean, he wasn't sensational in the Premier League, was he? Let's be honest. It's not that often that you get managers that are sensational in Scotland and then come down to the Premier League and are also sensational. I mean, Ange Postecoglou certainly wasn't, although you maybe make an argument that he was. He won the Europa League, fair play. Steven Gerrard didn't at Villa. I mean, Brendan, what's the other guy's name? Brendan, the ex-Celtic, current Celtic guy. Brendan
Rodgers.
Brendan Rodgers, that's it, yeah. I mean, he did okay at Leicester, didn't he? But what were you thinking?
Well, I think if he takes back Gary McAllister, who was also with him last time, I think it's a massive step up over Russell Martin. I was a bit surprised. I thought it was a naive signing on their part, if I'm brutally honest. This is a guy who dies on the hill, a bit similar to another manager I'd prefer we didn't speak about. But when your system's not working, like it was at Southampton, and he just stayed there and stayed there and stayed there, and refused to change. And we all know what happened at Southampton. And he did the same at Glasgow Rangers, and it was only a matter of time. Yes, they came up against Club Brugge in the Champions League, which was a bit of a tough one in the final qualifier, but it was a huge game, and they got absolutely dismantled. And they've not done well in the Europa League either. And he literally had to go. He had to go. Steve Gerrard is the name. He's the type of guy that will probably be able to. Let's be honest. Who's on the phone? Russell Martin. Russell who? Russell Martin. Yeah, want you to go and play for Glasgow Rangers. Nah, it's all right. But, Steve Gerrard, if you're going to try and pull in some favours, get some players out on loan, because Rangers are in absolute mess right now. Sit 8th in the league. Yeah. This is the worst start I can remember for many, many, many moons. And, with Hearts at the top of the table, I'm quite shocked. I mean, look at that. Huh?
Only one loss, though.
Yeah, but Falkirk, drawing with Falkirk. Come on.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean,
I'm not defending it. I'm not defending it.
yeah. I mean, look, I am amazed that he lasted this long, Russell Martin. I was amazed that he lasted
And he's
that
only
long.
one victory away from getting back into third, by the way. You know?
I know. Yeah, I know, but I'd love to see Hearts win it if it's not going to be Rangers. I'd love to see Hearts to break that monopoly that's been there for such a long time. And a lot of eyebrows were raised when Tony Bloom bought a stake at Hearts, and he turned around and he said he's going to break the monopoly or duopoly.
Yeah.
And they laughed at him. And there he is sitting. I know it's early days, but they're sat top of the table. They played Hibs last week, which was a big game for them. The Edinburgh
I don't know
derby.
any of the players, mate. I don't know a single one of these players in their team. The highest valued player in the Hearts team is €2.5 million.
2.5 million.
You know?
Listen, Scottish football is
more. Sometimes it's more than talent, right? Sometimes it's about just
Rangers and
momentum behind you. You know.
Well, listen, I'm sure that Tony Bloom will be using his identification metrics and algorithms to bring top talent to Hearts. And we'll be seeing players that will leave Hearts, instead of leaving Hearts for 800 grand and a packet of crisps and some Scottish wafers. I can see within 3 or 4 years him buying players and them actually selling players for a lot of money.
Just quickly, Johnny. Speaking about Tony Bloom and their what he's created before Hearts at Brighton. Have you seen the rumours this morning that a certain Victor Froholt? Do you remember we were talking about him all summer?
Yeah,
unbelievable player from Copenhagen.
Yes.
Ended up going to Porto 2 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago, and he's now being linked with a move to Brighton to potentially replace
Lukeba?
Matt Swiffer, who might be going. Who did you say? Sorry.
Well, I thought you meant Belieber. No, sorry. Yeah.
So Matt's. I think is it Matt Swiffer? I think it's Matt Swiffer. That's still. Sorry. My bad. Artur Vermeeren. Vermeeren, who's another player that we spoke about 2 years ago on the Spurs talk show. You and I, long time ago. Artur Vermeeren, who is an absolute baller who came out of, I think it was the Feyenoord Academy or one of the teams over there. And he ended up doing well enough because there's a massive merry-go-round happening right now, mate, with regards Chelsea. So Chelsea this morning, but I'm getting ahead of myself. First of all, thoughts on Victor Froholt. I'm on a ramble. What's your thoughts on Victor Froholt? Great player, mate. Really talented player.
Yeah, well, listen, we spoke about him in the summer. We were surprised that he went to Porto. I don't know. It's amazing. Like 2 months after going to a club, he's now being linked with another club for a lot more money. And Porto probably, what buyout clause do they put in? 90 million, 80 million? Something ridiculous, no doubt.
Yeah. Who's this for, sorry?
From Holt.
Froholt has a, Froholt.
He'll definitely have a big buyout clause already. They do it every time.
Apparently he shone last night as well for Denmark as they thrashed Belarus. Yeah, Victor Froholt's transfer, that apparently there's a transfer rumour from him to Atletico Madrid as well. He is, and like I say, Brighton are very much interested. Hey, we should have signed that kid. We should have signed him when we had a chance. He was an absolute baller. I don't know what the transfer, if there's a release fee or whatever. There probably is. You're right, but he won't go for that much money. But he's an absolute talent, right? And if Brighton are looking at him, that he's going to be one of those players that will be going for 80 million quid in 2 or 3 years, right?
Absolutely. Other breaking news: Sir Jim Ratcliffe unfortunately missed out on the Nobel Peace Prize, as did Donald Trump. I don't know who it went to. Sean, any idea? Did it go to Putin? Maybe.
I don't know. Let's have a look. Nobel Peace Prize.
I don't know. Jim Ratcliffe thought he might have done with his work with Man United to bring them back on
just quickly, someone called
Gary
Maria
Neville.
Corina Mercado won it. I don't know who she is or what she's done, but
Gary Neville was on the short list.
Yeah. Listen, I'd love to talk about politics right now. Maybe we'll start an 18th channel, Johnny. I've got more channels than a bloody than a spiritualist, I think, at the moment.
Venezuela opposition leader.
Venezuela. Yeah. Well, fair enough. Mate, but listen, on that news regarding Chelsea looking at certain midfielders, we spoke about yesterday about Caicedo being linked everywhere and to everyone and his mum. But the next one is Enzo. He is also on the apparent transfer. I'm looking at the list this morning of all the different transfer news, views, and clues. Enzo Fernandez is being linked with a monster move, to back to Spain.
Who's got the money, Sean? Sean, who's got the money? They paid 115 million euros, I think wasn't it?
Yeah. I think they're looking to get their money back, essentially 100 million quid, right?
I don't understand why you would do that. He wears the captain's armband often. He scores goals. I mean, as I said, Chelsea to me is just like an eBay trading company. In they come, out they go. Out they go, in they come. I mean, it's just a constant flow of players. I don't know if you saw that article the other day, I think it was run by Sky, where they said, name your best 3 signings since 2020. And you look at Spurs and it's like a short little list. We've signed that many players since 2020. And you look at all the different clubs. And then it came to Chelsea. I gave up reading them. The amount of players that have been signed by the club in that time.
It's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, look, they're talking about Caicedo going, Enzo going. Not sure what's going to happen with Cole Palmer. I mean, look, it seems that everyone's for sale at the right price.
Yeah. Yeah, well, of course they are, mate. It's business, isn't it? At the right price, everyone's willing to go somewhere.
But Sean, is that Spurs? Spurs, we're going to take it back to us, but Spurs used to be a club. Anyone that would come in and offer, doesn't matter who the star was back in the day. Okay, yeah, you can go. Everyone was for sale. But we, as Spurs fans, as we became bigger, we said, we don't want to be selling our top players. Harry Kane deserved to be able to go, having been at the club for all his years. But, fans don't want to be selling their top players. I'm sure Brighton get pissed off, every time they sold, the players that they've had to sell. And Belieber will no doubt be the next one on the list.
Right, there was Bournemouth fan channels that were after the international break started. Bournemouth fan channels were titling their videos, "Bournemouth will never be a big club."
Yeah, right? Because you're selling Semenyo, you're selling everybody.
Yeah,
you sold Zabani.
Rather than being delighted that you're third or whatever you are, third or fourth, rather than being delighted about that, you're sitting there going, I need a reason to moan, because
I'm not a fan of his. I'm not a fan of Bill Foley. I've got to be honest with you.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Had a business called PaySafe. There was. I'm not a great fan of his. He's come along. He's building a new stadium and that, but I'm not. Not great. But I think
is that all it is. 17,000. They're moving from 13,000 to 17,000.
Yeah. I mean, what's the
baby steps, boys.
I mean, come on. I'm sure you could go.
Stadiums in League One, isn't there?
You could go 25,000. You could go 25,000. I'm sure you can. I'm sure there's 25,000 people that would want to go and watch the game, especially when you've got away fans in. I mean, I can never get a ticket for Brentford away. Very, very difficult to get a ticket, obvious reasons. Look, I can understand their frustration when you sell Zabani who was a fantastic signing for. Well, first of all, Dom Solanke, apparently their best player, sold him for 65 million to us. We certainly not got 65 million pounds back. With that money, they bought Evan Nilsson, who's definitely done very, very well. They got Zabani. They've got Hoyson and they've got Kirkes. The three backs went for over 150 million, and Quintero went to Brentford for 45 million. So all of that, and they've still got Cliver, and they've still got
and their back three that they replaced them with are pretty good.
Yeah,
centre backs look handy, don't they?
Sensei, whatever his name is.
Sensei, Sensei.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. How long can you keep doing it for, though? I understand Bournemouth's frustration, but to sell all those players and to be sat where they are in the league is a fantastic feat. And Bournemouth fans should have a mixture of feelings of being very proud. We did say only a top manager could get Bournemouth out of the mess they're going to be in with selling their entire defence. When you consider the state that Liverpool are in defensively, as soon as one player's gone down, I think it's going to be an interesting one. We shall see. But Bournemouth punching well above their weight.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And listen, another team that we need to talk about, mate, and maybe a player that's punching above his weight here. But this is just the laughable sort of nature. And by the way, I'm very cautious about giving this write-off. It's not a write-off, okay? But there's a player playing for Levante who Tottenham were linked with a couple of weeks ago, last week, called Carl Etta-Eyong. And he's about 21 years old, and he scored a few goals this season, a couple of assists. He's a big, physical, strapping, strong fella. Big geezer. He's a Cameroonian international, but only under 23s. He hasn't even made it into Cameroon's first team yet. Okay, or into their men's team. And Tottenham are linked with him. And now Manchester United are linked with him. And Ben Jacobs is talking about him. And apparently Chelsea are looking at him. And apparently Brighton are looking at him. And he's all over the news this morning. And listen, I went and did a deep dive into Carl Etta-Eyong on Y-Scout about a week and a half ago when Tottenham were first linked. And the reason I say I'm cautious about saying what I'm about to say is because I got Serhou Guirassy entirely wrong. Right? I was wildly wrong about Serhou Guirassy. When Serhou Guirassy emerged a couple of years ago, he'd been playing relatively insignificant output games in the French league. I forget where he was. It might have been Nantes or whatever. It might have been Rennes, my team. I forget. But he then went to Germany. I think it was at Werder Bremen. And he started to score some goals. Right, he was 27 years old, and we were linked with him quite heavily. And I was like, "Listen, is he just like a late bloomer? He might be a late bloomer, but he's done very, very little." And then he goes on and smash it. He gets his move, and then he goes and scores, I think, 13 goals in the Champions League last year. And he's kicking on again this year. He's now 28.
Yeah, consistent, right? Yeah.
Very, very good, Serhou Guirassy. But where have you been for the last 6 years?
So yeah, but look, you see the players like your Jadon Sanchos who arrive with a storm, yeah? Hurricane warning. They come in, they smash it. Everyone's talking about them, and then bang, suddenly they can't do it. Yao Felix, another one, right? And then you have the late bloomers who suddenly start playing football at 26.
Is it a case of it's not how you start, it's how you finish? Would you rather be the early bloomer that falls off, or would you? Because you probably get a monster contract when you're 20 years old, right? Whereas is Serhou Guirassy going to pick up 250 grand a week at 28, 29? Probably not, right?
I think it's, he could have a long career. Who knows? He could be playing till he's 33, 34. Who knows? But
so the reason I brought him up was because this guy, Carl
Jamie Vardy. Look at Jamie Vardy.
Jamie Vardy. Yeah, I mean, that guy's story should be turned into a movie, shouldn't it?
Well, I think it wasn't it? I don't know. It was the fact that he wanted Jamie Foxx to play his role was a bit of an issue. Yeah. That's what I was going to go. It's woke. It's 2025. I'm not sure anymore we can do that sort of thing. But so Carl Etta-Eyong is a player that is all of a sudden being spoken about. Ben Jacobs is talking about him. Jamie Brown's talking about him. A lot of these sort of journalists, whatever. The geezer at TBR, Graham, whatever his name is, Graham Bailey's talking about him. Everyone's apparently interested in him. He's a big, strong, physical guy, very fast, broad as you like, right? Looks like he could fly, and he's got a powerful foot on him. But my God, when I went through his
clips in the deep dive. He's a bit of a. Okay, I say the same thing I said about Serhu Garassi. It looks like a lot of it's by luck, not by judgment. And he stumbles and bumbles his way through and then pops it in or whatever. But he's a physical guy. My one takeaway from when I spoke about him was, mate, he's sort of the sort of guy that a defender would go, I don't want to play against you because you look physical, you look scary, you throw your weight around.
How tall is he? I don't know the player. So how tall is he?
I'll check now, but he is like 5'11", so he's not particularly tall, but he's built like a. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen. He's absolutely built. He's absolutely built like a brick shit house. And but I thought no. I said about Tottenham. I said I don't want to get him. I don't want to get him. He hasn't even played a first team minute for Cameroon yet. He's played on the under-23s. So
how old is he, Sean?
21. Look, you can see him on the screen. You see him on the screen? Not yet. He's incredibly he throws his weight around. And anyway, long story short, he's linked with everyone this morning. Is this just another? I know if you're not familiar with him, maybe you're going to take a stab in the.
I see there's a lot of players to talk about and see. I haven't seen him. One that's also getting a lot of chat is 17-year-old wonder kid Mohamed Darboe. Fabrizio Romano's talking about this kid. He impressed in a trial at Manchester United, and apparently he's had trials at other clubs. Maybe have a look at him. Mohamed, M-O-U, Hamed Darboe. Have a look. See if you can. D-A-B-O. Mohamed Darboe.
Mohamed. Spelled just slightly differently.
Mohamed.
Senegalese. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look at him.
He's Senegalese. He's one of
currently
these.
He's currently without a club. He's 29 years old. That guy.
No, 17-year-old. Mohamed Darboe.
The wrong guy.
M-O-U-H-A-M-E-D. Mohamed.
Yeah.
You found him?
Yeah, I'm trying to find some data on him there.
17.
He's 29 according to Transfer Market.
Well, he's 17.
Check his passport.
Check his passport. We've not had any problems with this before, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of him, mate. Never heard of him, to be honest.
An outstanding 17-year-old. That's because he's 29.
Ready to do stuff. Listen, we'll keep an eye on him. Have you heard that Tottenham are also looking at a guy called Bruninho? He's apparently he's better than Bruno Fernandes. He's Bruninho. He's out. He's another 17-year-old out of Brazil. Paranese, I think he plays for.
You're making it up now.
No, I'm not. Bruninho. I'll show you. Bruninho. He looks like a good player. But he's not. He's not as exciting as that.
I think they've added the Eno on the end just to make him. His name is Bruno.
Yeah. Like
Kevinino.
Tottenham are reportedly keeping an eye on Atletico Paranense's highly rated youngster Bruninho. Bruno. The 17-year-old midfielder is considered one of the biggest prospects in the club's academy and has also attracted attention from Real Betis and Zenit St. Petersburg. Mate, Zenit St. Petersburg are all over these kids out of Brazil. They are all over them, mate.
They've had a lot of them over the years. So did the Ukrainians. Unfortunately, with the war that's going on now, Shakhtar Donetsk had quite a lot of Brazilians. Loads were out in Ukraine. Unfortunately, with the war and everything, that's taken a back seat. Another bit of news here. Oliver Glasner has played down the Bayern links to the Bayern job, should it become available. He said, I've stopped following the media anymore. There's such a load of nonsense. Someone claimed that I actually want to be the Bayern coach. It amuses me when other people know what I want without having discussing it once with me. Isn't that the way the media go? Well, the one player that's definitely going to be attracting an absolute, I don't know, the auction's going to be mad, is Adam Walton next summer.
Is there any chance you think he goes in January? Any chance at all?
Can't see it. I can't see the way Parish is with the chance of potentially winning in Europe. No, I can't see it at all. it's going to take a massive, massive bid. We've seen Liverpool, we've seen Chelsea. Well, everyone wants him. Everyone's looking at selling.
Where do you see him playing, mate? Where do you see Adam Wharton? Do you see him being a specialist in one role, or do you just see him being a box to box that can do a bit of everything?
Listen, I remember when he was at Blackburn and saying that he was my number one signing. I'd love us to sign him. Him and Archie Gray were the two I really liked at the time. And someone said to me they wanted 50 million plus Joe Rodon for Archie Gray. And I said, well, forget that. Let's go for Adam Wharton. And before you could say, Crystal Palace, Dougie Freeman had nipped in and bought him. 25 million, no messing around, absolutely top director of football. And the rest is history. And I didn't think he would transition into the team as quickly as he did, but he literally just hit the ground running. And he was absolutely immense. It's so immense in those short few months having arrived that he ended up in the England squad. He's still got things to improve. The only thing I would say as a downside, Sean, he seems to be a bit injury prone. Lots of niggles, out for 2 or 3 weeks, and then he's out again. I know he's very combative, but I think that might be the one thing that stops it, becoming, a huge issue. But Crystal Palace have always bought fantastic under Dougie Freeman, and one player who left the season before Eze, Michael Elise, he's just got better and better. I mean, he had that terrible injury. He was out for a considerable amount of time. He's gone out to Bayern Munich and he just looks absolutely immense. And I wouldn't put it past a huge bid coming in for him next summer. There's
actually stories about Michael Elise this morning. Trying to find where it is. Michael Elise, I think he's of interest to, according to reports, Manchester United, but there's no chance that he leaves Bayern Munich right now, is there?
No, I can't see it. Well, I mean, Man United, they're already talking about punishing Manchester United fans and letting Ruben Amorim stay for another 3 years. I'm sure, for people like us,
18 months at least, right?
Yeah, YouTubers, it's manna for heaven for Football Inc. Because we'll have lots of his comments. He'll be getting out his sushi board again, or his battleship board. We've had lots of fun on him. But a new contract for Harry Maguire, apparently. But they are linked with, they want to sign Carlos Baleba, or they want to sign Elliot Anderson. I don't know. Elliot Anderson is definitely better than Forrest. And let's be honest, if it wasn't for FFP and PSR, Newcastle would definitely not have sold Elliot Anderson. And their midfield, Newcastle, if you drop Elliot Anderson into it, would be pretty immense with Tonali, Joel Linton and the likes. It's pretty strong as it is. So I don't know. I can't see them. I think it's more likely that they'll be able to go for an Elliot Anderson or pay. Look, they're going to pay over the odds, aren't they? They're going to pay over the odds for Carlos Baleba, or they're going to pay over the odds for Elliot Anderson. They're going to probably pay £100 million. And we'll be saying, whatever happened to Carlos Baleba and Elliot Anderson? They were so good before they went to Manchester United. Then what happened?
Then they'll loan them out in 4 years' time, and they'll go and become the players that we always knew they were going to be.
Hoyland scored another 2 last night.
They're all doing it, mate. Anthony Hoyland, Xerxes will do it when he goes to West Ham or Everton in January. Even Andre Onana, mate. Andre bloody Onana, the biggest bozo in goalkeeping football, is they're so impressed with him in Turkey. They want to give him a new contract already. It's a permanent deal already. Absolutely mental. Let me get a couple of super chats, Johnny, quickly, and then we'll
can I just say on Onana, just before you do the super chats, I think it's incredible that a guy who had such a shocking season that couldn't catch anything, right, didn't want to go out to Turkey and said, I'll only go there to entice them out there. They paid him more money than he was getting at Man United. He had a wage increase for being a shit goalkeeper, and he's gone out there and he's turning it on. Incredible.
With the tax breaks, he's earning something like 400 grand a week, isn't he, or something? Absolutely insane.
Listen, for me, Elliot Anderson is top drawer, and he needs to be better. He needs to be at a better place than Nottingham Forest. He could play for any of the top clubs, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's highly linked with a move as well to Manchester City this morning as well. We shall see. Dean Law, big up to you, Dino. Hope you're okay, my man. Always here, always supporting, always fighting the choo-choo train. The sticker train has commenced, mate. Choo-choo to you, buddy. Appreciate you very much, Dean. You're legend of a guy. And we got Joe, Everton fan, Joe, Mashina Joe, out in, I think you're in Pattaya right now, but you're certainly...
I'm off to Everton next week.
Croatian Australian. Lovely guy. Speak to him on Twitter in the DMs quite a lot. He's a new member of the show. Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate you very much, man, for your support of the channel. Big up to you. And Toby Juan Kenobi. Big up to you. He says, hey, fellas, I hope you are both well. It's Cat Funt. Oh, big up, Cat Funt.
Hey, Cat Funt. We thought you'd left the building.
Oh, you're okay, buddy. Appreciate you very much indeed, mate, for the super chat. Big up to you. Johnny, I want to talk to you for a brief moment about Adi Hutter.
Don't you swear at me, mate. Come in here swearing at me.
Where are your papers?
Adi Hutter?
Austrian Monaco manager, or was. He's been relieved of his duties last night.
What did he do?
He's paid the price for Monaco's middling form at the start of the season. The club sit 5th in Ligue 1, only 3 points behind leaders Paris Saint-Germain. However, by his own admission, performances have been found wanting. Even prior to the draw against Nice on Sunday, Monaco was scouring the market for a replacement. However, that draw accelerated plans after talks with Edin Terzic, an ex-link of Tottenham, ex-Borussia Dortmund, led the Dortmund team to the Champions League final in his final season at Dortmund. But that failed to conjure an agreement. Hutter took training on Wednesday. However, with Union St. Gilloise' Sebastian Pocognoli incoming, trigger has been pulled. USG, mate, doing bits in the Champions League. Listen, I was looking at USG thinking you don't really want to get a Belgium team away from home in the last 16 or in the playoffs. They're very, very handy. But Pocognoli seems to be the kind of steering of that USG ship. And he's now going to Monaco. And we've got to now play Monaco away from home, haven't we, in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, not going to be an easy game. As we saw with Man City, how they dominated the game, Man City. But it's all about putting the ball in the back of the net. And they didn't do it as efficiently. Man City, without Rodri, just aren't the same team. So we'll be interested to see how bad that hamstring injury is yet again for him. That's a big nail in their coffin, I believe, this season. I think that the title has just almost been handed to Arsenal right now, with Liverpool having no centre-backs, Man City having no Rodri, and Chelsea having Maresca.
Wait, how did we get onto Manchester City then? We were talking about Monaco.
Yeah, because we were on I pivoted. It's called the
where are we going with this?
No, Monaco. We were on Monaco, and they I didn't think they did too bad. They drew 2-2 with Manchester City.
That's the link. That's the pivot.
Is 5th really that bad?
No, 3 points off the top. It's not that bad, is it?
Is this another Marinakis owner at Monaco?
Well, his name's Roboloblev, isn't it?
Roboloblev.
He's the guy who's mates with Amanda Staveley and Yildiz, the husband of Staveley. They might end up taking a stake in Monaco. So it's all very interesting over down in the south of France, mate. All very interesting.
You got to be careful there.
Let's take a pivot across to Newcastle United for the Newcastle fans that might be watching. By the way, guys, if you are on Football Inc., I'll put the link in the description in a second for both channels. Make sure you do go and smash the subscribe to Sean Butler TV. And if you're from Sean Butler TV, come across the Football Link. I'll put the links for both channels in the chat. Please do smash the like on both. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And keep the comments flowing in. The journalist here, there's a journalist whose name is Mark Carruthers, has tipped.
Yeah, bloody good English.
bloody good. He's tipped Sandro Tonali as someone that Newcastle are probably going to sell for over £100 million this summer.
Yeah, rubbish.
Do you see that happening? I mean, there's a lot of rumours at the moment going around that he might be wanting to go back to Italy.
Yeah, so who in Italy's got 100 million?
No one.
The Italian government doesn't have 100 million. So I can't see it, Sean. I can't see it. No. Can't quite get that one. Listen, I think Newcastle have got a very, very good squad at the moment, and Eddie Howe, really, really good manager. Bit unfortunate with the Arsenal game. I think Arsenal were there, could have gone a little bit more counter-attacking in that game. I was gutted, obviously, because had Newcastle held on in that game, I think the title would be looking a little bit different. But now Arsenal sit top. Big game for Spurs away at Newcastle in the next couple of weeks. Tough game. Cracking midfield. Walter Marday's looking very good. They haven't even got Vissa flying yet. And they've got the Danish boy who I really like, and I think he's going to be a real player up front. So I think Newcastle is sitting very nicely. They might not have a lot of points at the moment, but I don't think they've got much to worry about. Their biggest issue, Newcastle, Sean, is the same for everyone, is balancing Champions League football and the Premier League.
Yeah,
they had a very good season in the Premier League, went into the Champions League. They didn't balance it very well and struggled somewhat. So it is what it is. It is what it is, but we shall see.
We shall see, mate. Another story here, the story that won't go away. Mark Gahey, according to dozens of reports this morning, Manchester United, mate, listen, they're in for everybody, but apparently they're ready to rival Liverpool for the signature of Crystal Palace centre-back Mark Gahey, who has been identified as the preferred long-term replacement for Harry Maguire. We also know Manchester United are looking to rival Arsenal and Liverpool for Semenyo. They're not including Tottenham in that story for whatever reason. They also want Upamecano if he leaves Bayern Munich. Do Manchester United, two things, mate. Do Manchester United at this stage still have the draw that they have had for all the sorts of players? They're in for Keenan Yildiz, who we'll come to in a minute. We'll do a whole segment on him because he's just smashing it up over there. Yeah. But Man United are after everybody, but they're after everybody that all of the bigger clubs are after as well. All the bigger teams are after. In your opinion, try and distance yourself from any rivalry here. Does Manchester United still hold the draw right now after 3-4 years of wild underperformance? They have never really replaced Alex Ferguson. They've won a couple of FA Cups in that with
Jose
Dutchman, with Jose Mourinho, and with the Dutch fella Ten Hag. But like right now, if you're going to get the same money from Liverpool or from Arsenal or from Chelsea or from Tottenham or from anywhere else as you would from Man United, maybe not Tottenham, but everywhere else, does anyone choose Man United over Liverpool?
It depends what your priority is. For me, Mark Gahey is either, in my opinion, either Real Madrid or Real Madrid. I would say Real Madrid or Liverpool. I don't think he'll go to Chelsea. Personally, might want to stay in London. In that case, it will be Chelsea. He's definitely not going to go to Arsenal. He wants to play week in, week out. If Konate goes to Real Madrid, and I've got to tell you, Real Madrid, if they're looking at Konate's performances right now, they ain't going to be bidding, right? Konate needs to get his head back in the game if he wants to have any chance of getting that sort of dream move, because he's been shocking for Liverpool this season. Made some costly mistakes for them. Mark Gahey's top. And again, last night, 2 assists for England. I said to you, for me, I think he's definitely right up there, top 3 or 4 in the Premier League centre backs overall. When I saw him years and years ago, I thought it was reminded me of a young Ledley King. He's not quite at that level, but he is a top centre back, and he deserves to be at a top club. And Man United ain't that club. I can see them. He's quite headstrong. Mark Gahey knows what he wants, and he's been at Palace. He'll be wanting to win stuff. I can see Manchester. Look, we say that, yet Manchester United managed to convince Brian Mbeumo, but he's been a Man United fan.
Yeah,
Cunha, they managed to convince. They couldn't convince Gyökeres though, because the stories come out today and yesterday that Manchester United did in fact bid more money for Gyökeres than Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
He ended up wanting to go to Arsenal, even though that he'd played under Amorim. So,
Johnny, I've got to run downstairs, mate. My mum's at the door. She's taking the dog out. Can you hold the fort? I'm going to lean you into a conversation here that you can cover without me. According to footballtransfers.com, Arsenal are confident of agreeing a new contract with Jury and Timber and also Bukayo Saka, and are also incredibly confident of signing Keenan Yildiz, who I'll come back to and talk about. Give me 30 seconds, mate. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, Jury and Timber signing a new contract. He's keen on committing his future to the club. I always thought he was a good player, but he's actually been a lot better than I thought. He's looking for a long deal. I'm not sure what sort of deal Arsenal are keen to offer him. We saw that Trossard got a new deal, but he got a wage increase. He didn't get an extension onto his term of his contract. But they're looking to do that deal. I don't think there's going to be any problem with that. Nor do I think there's going to be any problem getting Saka's deal done. It's going to be, obviously, I would think, probably record deal. I'd love to see what Arsenal's wage bill is, because it's certainly going to be going up with the contracts that they're signing. And the other one they're trying to get to sign is Martin Odegaard, who's got strong interest coming in from Bayern Munich. But he's injured again. They're talking about he's going to be out for a few weeks. Is he going to get forced out, Odegaard? I mean, that's the thing. Arsenal, they're buying that many players. Zubamendi's been good. Marino's been good. We've got Eze. They got Eze, and they got Noni. They got Nawani. They've just, honestly, they're just an abundance. The depth is ridiculous. That they could probably try and sign him on a new contract and sell Odegaard. I can see that one particularly happening. I'll wait till Yildiz comes back. But Arsenal also among the suitors for Arden. Yildiz. You're
calling me Yildiz? You'll wait till Yildiz comes back? I don't mind being Keenan.
Yeah, they're Keenan Yildiz. But the other one they're looking for is Arden Güler. But he looks unfathomable, as Real Madrid don't want to sell him. They're looking for 150 million euros for Arden Güler.
Arda Güler, right? With an R at the end.
Arda Güler.
Mate, he looks, listen, Arda Güler, for me, when he was in Turkey, when he was 17, he looked unbelievable. He looked like he was unbelievable. Then he went to Real Madrid and didn't get any minutes. And when he did, he looked like he was just out of his depth a little bit. In the last 3 months, he's managed to pick up a lot more minutes under Xabi Alonso. Yeah. And now you're starting to see the Turkish, that sort of flair. That Turkish players, sort of like Georgian players. Georgia, like, remember Georgi Kinkladze?
Yeah.
We see it with the guy Mikhail Tadze. You see it with Kvaratskhelia. That kind of flair in the kind of creative roles. Like, certain people from certain countries just have a little bit of, like, swagger.
Turkey and Greece are producing. I mean, that's why I was a bit shocked at the result last night. I was actually predicting that Greece would beat Scotland last night. And they were 1-0 up. I thought, well, that's that. I turned over, I came back, and I saw what's his name putting the ball in to make it 3-1 to Scotland. It was that. Turkey have got some fabulous young
players,
and so have Greece. Those sort of flair players.
That kid from Olympiacos that moved to big money. Where did he went to Brighton, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was Brighton. Yeah, Brighton. Yeah.
Yeah, has he done much yet? I haven't seen him do much yet in the Premier League.
They've got some fantastic talent, and I think we might see come the World Cup this summer. Don't forget World Cup summer, and you always see the clubs ending up paying well over the odds for someone whose stars back in the day used to have the World Cup because we didn't have so many games on TV. No one saw these players, and suddenly they'd be in the World Cup. We'd all watch them. We'd all fall in love with the player. And suddenly a player who no one knew about 2 months ago is suddenly record transfer.
Yeah. Always the way, isn't it?
He goes to the club and can't kick a ball.
Doesn't do anything. Yeah. Who do you suspect? In fact, let's have a little conversation, mate, for 5 minutes. I've got a couple of football finance stories we've got to talk about as well, mate. But it's a bit of a dry day, isn't it?
We always find something to talk about, Sean.
Yeah. Before we get to that football finance, there's actually quite a couple of interesting stories about football finance out there from the Birmingham City owner, the geezer who's big time in America, and talking about No, not him. His partner.
His partner. Okay. Yeah.
I'll bring it up in a second. It's an FT story. It's by the way, there's also a ridiculous story out regarding Crystal Palace owner John, ex-owner John Textor. Comes out in a second. Just quickly, World Cup year. Right now, I'm going to clip this as well. So we'll put it out there for you and for me. Which country do you suspect will be the kind of, I don't know, everybody's second team in the tournament that goes a little bit far and does a little bit well?
Well, in Europe, I'll go for sort of a Sweden or a Denmark.
You've stolen it from me. I was going to say a Scando team, right? There's going to be a Scando team that do well. They've got so much talent in the north of Europe, haven't they, right now?
They got a blend. It's all, look, we've spoken about this before. PSG had great individuals, but unless they gel as a team, it means nothing. And, Thomas Tuchel, look at all the players he's left out. Of that team, top players he's left out. He's bringing in Jordan Henderson, but he said, it's about winning games. It's not about the players.
If Jordan Henderson's part of the first 11 in the World Cup, mate, like what are we doing here?
Yeah, no, honestly.
Sorry, I've just seen. Sorry, Wes, we skipped over the Yildiz topic. My bad. I thought Johnny had covered it in my absence. Keenan Yildiz, mate. Again, like everyone's after this kid. I don't know if it's just dry news cycle because there's no, obviously my searches every morning are, summarize every single Premier League. I even tell Grok, I say to Grok, scrape the barrel in terms of sources, right? I don't care if you're going to someone's like old nan from next door who knows someone who's heard a thing or two about this. I need to know everything that's out there from regardless of the sources, but everywhere, about in 100 different sources today, from big top broadcasters to the tiny scrapes on the Reddit, are talking about Keenan Yildiz leaving Juve because of Juve's PSR issues. They're going to be forced to sell him. He doesn't want to go. He's going to go kicking and screaming like a toddler being sent off to his first day at the creche or whatever. But mate, Arsenal are prioritising him. According to these reports, Arsenal are prioritising Yildiz. Now, if I'm entirely honest, mate, I'm okay with that. Because if Semenyo's tried and tested, right? Semenyo is prem proven. And even if Yildiz costs you 15 million quid less, if there's a left winger out there, and there's 4 or 5 out there that we should all probably be looking at and going, yep, I'll take him. Who's your number one, Johnny?
Well, look, let's be honest, right? Everyone's, there's some great players out there. The trouble is, Sean, just like Man United, when you sign a player and then he turns to shit, we sign players that have never been injured in their entire life, and suddenly they can't play football. I mean, look at Kolo Muani. I don't remember him ever being injured.
No, I don't think he ever was. I think he's basically had a fairly clean record from injury.
Yeah,
pretty sure.
And then he turns up here and his leg's dead. Right? It's been the longest dead leg.
I'm worried about his leg's been amputated, bro. That's not a dead leg. He's been killed.
He's piled on the weight. I mean, he looked absolutely. No, I saw a picture of him yesterday that I posted, resting his dead leg. I mean, he looked like a guy that was knackered, having walked out from the training ground doors.
He looked that way when he came on the pitch before the dead leg as well, didn't he? He played 8 minutes in a Tottenham shirt against. Was it against Bodo? No, not Bodo. It was against who was it? Who came to us? No, it was the Champions League game that came. The team that came to us, Villarreal.
Oh, Villarreal, yeah, he came on for about 4
He played 8 or 10 minutes there, and he was on it. He made one run, and he was on his hands on his knees, going.
He looks like your mate who comes on for the last 8 minutes on a Sunday over Hackney Marshes. It's absolutely caned it on the weekend, and he's like on the floor, right, huffing and puffing. Yeah,
that was me. Yeah.
Listen, look, he's a top player. He's a player that I want. Look, let's be honest. Semenyo is that player, but is he going to turn up and deliver for us? But I can't see Bournemouth selling him till next year. In which case, count us out.
Kolo played in a behind closed door friendly today.
Yeah, played how long?
Really?
Yeah. He hasn't. Guys, just to say, he didn't play a game of football or train for 77 days. So. Look, I'm a big fan of his. I wanted him last summer, and then he didn't go anywhere. Stayed at PSG. Then in January I wanted him, and then he went to Juventus, and I thought that one was gone. And when the deal wasn't going to Juventus, and it was dragging on, I kept saying we should be nipping in there. This is the best signing. Man United should be in there. Everyone should be in there going for this guy. And we ended up with him, and I was absolutely shocked, absolutely delighted, but shocked. But then I saw him against Villarreal. It doesn't look anything like the Kolo Muani that I've been watching.
He's entirely unfit, isn't it? He's entirely unfit.
Well, let's
not conflate the. I'm not saying you are, but I think a lot of people are conflating the idea of, they're looking at they're thinking it's Tanguy Mark II, right? Ndombele Mark II. He's just he shouldn't be entirely unfit. Apart from his dead leg, but he looked when he played, he didn't look fit when he came off the bench, right? He's obviously let himself go a little bit over the summer, which is a concern. But there's an absolute player in there. If anyone can get him motivated, and if anyone can get him ready for a Tottenham, late winter surge, there, and we need him, mate, don't we? We do need him, because right now Tottenham fans are sitting there going. Well, even myself included, and I've got a vested interest because I've been hounded. I've been hounded by the Tottenham fans in the community for my defence of Odebear and Matthias Tell. But we're all looking at Matthias Tell, who's had 1 minute of one moment of a good game and a good goal, and now everyone's now, well, not everybody, a lot of people that are embedded in their opinions are sticking to one side, but those who are open-minded are now sitting there saying, let's give Matthias Tell a run of games. But we do have a better player than Matthias Tell in Kolo Muani.
Oh, ye fickle fan, right? Never heard such a thing. I've never known fans to be fickle. Listen, Kolo Muani was, as I said, this is an after the fact. Obviously, he came to prominence at Eintracht Frankfurt, where he was just absolutely incredible, which is why PSG paid 95 million euros for him. And
let's not forget, Johnny. Everybody wrote off a lot of people. Not everyone. A lot of people wrote off Mohamed Kudus, saying he was lazy, saying he wasn't motivated at West Ham.
Yeah,
he comes to Tottenham and he looks like polar opposite, right? So if the right words can be said in the right order into Kolo Muani's ear, and so even if you don't want to be here, Kolo, even if you don't want to be here, Randall, however people speak to whatever his first name is, it just. Get yourself back in the shop window for a post-World Cup, right? By fucking focusing now. And
for me, Sean, for me, though, Sean, I fear that the Spurs fans will judge him on what they see, right, without any thought or process of the fact that if you miss your pre-season fitness, you'll be miles behind. It's as simple as that. Oh, we're back on the grass. Does that mean he'll be out in a couple of weeks? No, it doesn't. Listen, he's good. He's a better striker than Solanke. He's a better striker than Tell, and he's a better striker than Richarlison. He's more mobile. He's dangerous, and long may it continue. But I fear that it might be a while before we see the real Kolo Muani. I might be wrong. But I'm more worried and concerned that fans will start calling him shit after the first game, and we'll be seeing quotes like "He's no better than Tell."
Yeah, well, look, you're right. Football fans are fickle, and they're like, it's amazing, isn't it? Like you can have certain players that get unwavering support from certain elements of the fan base, no matter how bad they get, and then you have other players that never get given a fair shot or a fair crack. But listen, Keenan Yildiz, mate. Back to the point, I guess. Do you see?
It's unlike us to deviate.
Well, so, mate, we deviate more than a bloody septum. Do you think we need to? Do you see Keenan Yildiz coming to the Premier League essentially in January? I guess is the question. Is there going to be any movement? No, I don't think so either.
No, I don't. Can't see it at all. I think he'll stay where he is, and then in the summer, Juventus will be looking to get rid of Dusan Vlahovic and that 300 grand a week wage that he's on. They'll try to offload a few players. I can't see it. A player that any football fan would love to watch, a player that doesn't want to leave Juventus. If they can find a way, they will. Look, they wanted to sign Kolo Muani. They were desperate. They spent weeks and weeks and weeks desperately trying to put the finances together to sign him, but they couldn't, and that left him holding the baby, which was a bit of a strange one. One signing which has been linked again, Murillo of Nottingham Forest. He's been a fantastic talent since he arrived from Brazil for Nottingham Forest at the back. Being linked with Chelsea and with Cunha coming in from Botafogo and looking really good. Maybe they might take the risk and sell him. And
there's rumours out today, mate, and over the last couple of days from Sky Sports that are saying that Chelsea have absolutely no plans to sign a goalkeeper in the next two windows, and a centre-back in January, at least, is ruled out, which is a little bit wild to me. It's a little bit wild. I know Chelsea maybe have squad space issues, and obviously they still probably have that problem with their net transfer debt with regards their UEFA PSR sanctions and things. But I'm pretty sure when I forget who it was, the young fella Akiyamong, whatever his name is, I forget the guy's name, who went off injured in their last game. It was against Liverpool. That was their fifth centre back that was injured at the same time, and they still had Jarell Hatto to bring off the bench. So they've got an unbelievable amount of depth, but they are down to bare bones at the back, aren't they?
They've been buying up everyone. But look, the fact of the matter is, Maresca has said, I want a centre back, and the board has said, no, you're not having one. So where does that leave us? Look, Sanchez is a great shot stopper, but he's got calamity, a bit like our keeper at the moment. Question marks being asked. I'm surprised they didn't go for a Mike Maignan. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't revisit that one. Chelsea, to be honest, come January. Depends, I guess, how Sanchez performs between now and the end of the season. One player I do feel sorry for is Mark Gui, who thought he was going to Sunderland to play week in and week out and lead the line there, and he gets dragged back to Chelsea because of injuries to what's his name? their striker, and now he's Delap, and he's not even getting a minute. He's not getting any time. And this is the problem when you sign for Chelsea. You run the risk of sitting out in the back in the farmyard waiting for your call. And if you get injured, it could be a long while before you see any football. And if you're a kid, listen, he was almost all but done and dusted going to Sunderland. So I can imagine he's gutted now. Sunderland play because they caused Man United problems. They causing most clubs problems, but it wasn't to be. Guys, if you're in the chat and you haven't hit the like button, smash the granny out the like button, please. It helps the algorithm. And guys, if you're coming across from any of the channels and you haven't hit the subscribe button, it doesn't cost you any money, but what it does is it helps us grow the channel. It just lets you know when we're on, and also you can find us easier if you hit that subscribe button, because we not even 50% of you hit the subscribe button, but we got thousands that watch.
Way less. On Football Inc, I think it's 70% of people that watch us every day are not subscribed. On Sean Butler TV, I think it's like 85% of people that watch that channel are unsubscribed. So look, here's the links, right? If you're on Football Inc, just click that link there to Sean Butler TV, hit the subscribe. And if you're on Sean Butler TV, then hit that link right there and hit the subscribe button as well. Really appreciate the sort of multiple angle of support. Let's get a couple of super chats done here. Johnny Boy, Blake L's giving us a super sticker. Choo choo to you, Blakey. Good to see you, mate. Choo choo to you. Appreciate you, mate. Hope you're okay over in America. You are in the morning part of your day. Good luck to you. I hope you have a good day. I hope you smash it out of the park. And Joe, who's over in the other side of the world. I love the fact we're
Mashing Joe.
Global reach. Mashing a Joe. Big Evertonian. Says Mouani is a fake Frenchman. Oh, God. What were we doing here? When France lost the World Cup, he didn't cry. No heart. You know what I mean. Lazy. He missed that shot in the last minute. I don't.
What's saying there, Mashing Joe? I take it.
Well, I don't remember.
I don't remember it, but Mashing Joe obviously does.
Yeah.
Being the French Aussie that he is.
He's an Aussie. He's a Croatian Aussie.
Croatian
Australian who supports Everton but spends all of his time watching Tottenham streams. I love the globe, and he lives in Thailand, I think. So like he's an absolute man of the world, this guy. But I'm pretty sure he hates the New World Order. Knowing what I know of him, he's a conspiracy theorist.
Listen, we love the fact Sean and I get messages from people all over the world, from the States, Asia, Scandinavia. We did have Darkest Peru, but he's now back. We can't do these shows without you and your support, and we thank you for it.
By the way, talking about my man Mashna Joe's love of, and obviously we've got Destiny 5 here, who's also doing a little bit of conspiracy theory stuff. Just out of curiosity, if any of you do want to, there is a new channel that's starting from yours truly, and Johnny's going to be a regular part of it, as are many people from the Tottenham fan base who feel the same way I do. If you guys wanted to follow a conspiracy that was called Rabbit Hole Ramblings, and it's going to be fun. We're going to be bringing up all of the Instagram reels that go deep into the rabbit hole, and you can find us over there. So if you're interested in that stuff, if you think the world doesn't make sense, if you think the narrative that is spun to you all day in transfer rumors, links, if that's as waffle as a lot of the stuff you see on the news, then you can find political conspiracies over on. It's a new channel with no content, Nikos. It's gonna get done very soon, mate. It's gonna get done maybe today. The first video will get uploaded for sure. We're doing live streams as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say we're doing another show. Not do it today, but I'd like to talk about clubs that are producing stuff. Eintracht Frankfurt, having sold Mamouche and Hugo Ekitike for like 170 million, still seem to be producing some fantastic young talent, which we'll talk about maybe in the next show. Can Uzun.
Can Uzun.
Yeah, Can Uzun, another young.
He looks a baller, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks a baller. Number 10. He'll probably be the next one to be going out the door. But a lot of talent coming out of, RB Leipzig, again, another one selling so many top players, and yet still managing to get results up in the Bundesliga. Right, let's do the last two finance ones, Shawnee.
Yeah, so first and foremost, we've got this story from Financial Times. Ares, ARES, is a hedge fund. They've given former Crystal Palace investor John Textor a reprieve after a $400 million debt default. I mean, this requires a deep dive story in and of itself, which will probably get put up on an upload somewhere. But
hang on a minute, Sean. Just hold off there, right? I've heard of my mates borrowed, 50 quid off of me, and he's struggling. He's in a bit of tight. Look, mate, don't worry about it. Okay, give it to me when you got it, right? Maybe 100 quid, maybe 200 quid, maybe $1,000 for a good mate. 400 million.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I mean, what is that?
So let me show you the story. It's quite wild, mate. It's quite wild. It's insane, right?
It's
so
deep,
Ares Management. By the way, Ares Management is a big private equity firm out in America. And I spoke to you guys. I spoke to people on Sean Butler TV about this the other day. And so there's three different hedge funds. So if you want to work, if you're like the Saudi PIF, if you're the QIA, QSI, or like Dubai Capital Company Limited, if you're Sultan of Brunei, any of these guys, and you want to invest in NFL teams, you're not allowed to invest directly. You're only allowed to invest indirectly. So you put your money into one of these type of companies, and then they can invest because they're American based. Similar sort of thing as what happened with PIF into Chelsea via Clearlake.
Yeah.
Not for the same rules. The rules just prohibit that sort of like sovereign wealth funds, SWFs, from ever getting involved in the NFL, which is probably a good thing. Anyway, so Ares Management were the company that bought 12.5% off of PSG. Right? And Ares Management were one of the companies that were flagged in my research as a potential NFL, because Ares Management own, I think, 10% in the Buffalo Bills, I think, or maybe it's Miami Dolphins. I forget which one it is. I think it might be Miami Dolphins now, as my mind is ticking over. Anyway, so they've got a lot of Ares Management have got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies with regards sports franchises around the world in multiple different sports. Here's the story here, though. Ares Management has granted a reprieve to John Textor's Eagle Football Group after one of global football's most prolific investors violated the terms of more than $450 million of debt, violated interest rates as high as 22%. He's got football clubs, Johnny, on credit card. On credit card rates. What are we doing here? My American Express account doesn't have 22%.
And what happened to the supposed link between him running a multi-club ownership model with Marinakis, okay, with the Botafogo? We know he took money from Lyon, to give to Botafogo, so Botafogo could win the championship down there.
Libertadores, yeah.
And then sold off half. I mean, Nottingham Forest, his mate Marinakis, but there's no relationship between Marinakis and John Textor. The fact that they've bought 4 players to Nottingham Forest from Botafogo shouldn't get in the way. And here we have, I mean, I don't know.
It's mad, mate. It's mad. Listen, multi-club group Eagle Football triggered a technical default in June of 2023 by failing to provide Ares with adequate financial information on a timely basis, according to long-delayed accounts filed last weekend at UK's Companies House. Despite the breach, Ares has decided against exercising its right to seize Eagle Football's assets and take control of the clubs it owns, which includes France's Olympique Lyonnais. Instead, the private capital group last week provided Texas Group with a letter of forbearance, stating it would not seek repayment for a further 12 months. We're just kicking the can here, Johnny. We're kicking the can. Remember, Ares. So Ares Capital. For those of you that are bored of financial stuff, give me a second here because it's quite important, right? Because you've got this other group called Apollo Global Management. Apollo Global Management is one of the biggest hedge funds in the game. It's absolutely ginormous, right? It holds like trillions of assets under management. They recently started a fund last week. It was with a guy called Tillis Verbacken, I think his name was. I might be wrong about his surname. Tillis something. Anyway, what they do are they essentially, and this is the same with Ares. Traditionally, they're not people that want active management in these football clubs. They essentially do loans to football clubs, and they get secured funding on the back of it. Similar, Johnny, to what Tottenham did with Macquarie.
With a payday loan, you loan to, right? So you are Nottingham Forest, for example. You're going to be in the Champions League, or Newcastle, right? Well, wherever you're going to be in the Champions League. You want to spend some money in January, but you don't get the base of the money till next year. You're guaranteed X, but you'd like to get the money in advance. We'll give you that money in advance, but we're going to charge you for that. And that's the sort of finance that these people provide.
100%, right? So, sorry, his name was, sorry, it wasn't Millis. His name was Al Tillis. It was the guy from Apollo Global Management. Just checking myself there. He's been named chief executive. And what they do is essentially a combination of either debt-based access or cross-hybrid access, which is they're happy to basically sit there and go, what are your guaranteed incomes? So you know you're going to get 100 million quid circa from the Premier League broadcast rights, but that doesn't come in until the end of the year. I'll give you 100 million quid now. You give me 4, 5, 6, 7%, whatever it is, and then you give me that money. You know you're going to get it. So it's risk-free at 6 or 7%. Lovely money if you've got enough money to throw around. These guys, Ares, do exactly the same thing as what Apollo are moving into, but are also willing to take 10% stakes in football clubs if the clubs don't want to sacrifice their guaranteed loans. Some of those
take a stake. If it works out, then we'll just take the stake. You can't afford to pay us, we'll take the stake. And 100%. when you look at Barcelona, we know that they were struggling. They had no money coming in. They sold future earnings. They sold 25% of their TV, the TV company. These are the sort of companies and vehicles that would have bought stakes in that to give Barcelona that money.
So this is back 2023, though, Johnny, when interest rates were peaking at 5, 6%, 7%, right? Because the interest rates in the UK have been very low for a long time. And then because of COVID, everything got a little bit out of hand, and the interest rates rose like 8 times in a couple of years. When these debts were owed,
they were low.
John Textor is robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now, look at this. In July, Eagle Football sold its 45% stake in Crystal Palace to New York Jets owner for 190 million.
Woody Johnson, isn't it?
Yeah, we've covered that on this channel ad nauseum, right? But look at this. Eagle Football owes Ares around $300 million of payment in kind debt with annual interest rates of 16%. Fucking hell, mate. That's like $42 million a year. Dollars a year. It's madness.
To put this into perspective, Daniel Levy managed to secure £670 million of debt against the stadium at an incredible 2.75% with the Bank of America. That deal was almost worth a Nobel Peace Prize in itself, because right now, to go and secure £670 million worth of debt you would be paying numbers like this. You would be paying 10% and then we really wouldn't have any money for transfers.
So 300 million payment in kind debt with annual interest of 16%, right? Which is, as I say, it's 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, £48 million a year of debt, right? That Eagle Football owes just Ares, $48 million a year, and another 135 million at a rate of 18%, right? Which is about 25 million a year. So they owe circa about $70 million a year in interest alone.
Do you know what's very strange as well, Sean? We've mentioned it on this show before. normally when someone comes in and takes over, someone like John Textor's holding, we normally have a statement from them. And they say, you know, I've always been a Crystal Palace, or I've always been a fan of the club. This has been my dream to own a percentage of a football club, and start making wild claims of what he's going to do. We haven't heard Jack from Woody, have we? Woody Johnson?
Well, I don't know about the Woody Johnson situation. I've got no idea about what his terms are, stake are. Yeah, you're right. We haven't heard anything from him, as far as I'm aware.
Which is unusual for someone that's come in and bought such a high profile.
Now we know why. Now we know why he got it for 190 million, Johnny.
Correct.
Because at the time we were sitting there going, "Hang about, like you've got Eze that's worth 70 million, whatever it was he went for, 60 million.
On paper,
that's worth a lot of money. You've got Adam Waters with 100 million quid. You got, and all the squad itself is probably worth 500 million quid, 600 million quid, whatever. Then you've got the stadium. Okay, the stadium's not in great shape, but it's still a stadium. The training ground, the facilities, the commercial, the guaranteed revenue, and yet he gave up 45% of it for 190 million. Now we know why. The geezer, John Textor, mate, is Del Boy. He's Del Boy on the biggest scale possible. So it gets worse, Johnny. It gets worse. 300 million, right? So we do that. So about $70 million a year in interest alone, plus a 27 million facility. A loan facility is something you can take from, draw from, put it back, draw from it again. That costs Eagle Football 22% annually. Now, payment in kind, right? It's a payment in kind loan. So payment in kind debt, just so you're aware of, I'm not sure you are, but for those that are listening, payment in kind debt is something where if you don't want to pay it back in the first year, you don't have to, but the juice keeps rolling. It's mafia stuff, right? It's mafia stuff. It's like, okay, you haven't got to pay it back, no problem. But at the maturity of the debt, it all rolls up into one big giant sum. So if they've taken 300 million, 435, 460 million quid, for example, at an average interest rate of about, I don't know, let's call it 18%, call it 18%, 17%, whatever.
Yeah, roughly.
Right? He owes about 80 million quid per year, and every year he doesn't pay that back, it just compounds on itself. This guy is almost probably as, maybe even worse than MCP Capital or 777, whichever one of those two it was, that was literally borrowing money from one club to pay funds into another.
We know
that is a monster story that no one's talking about.
We also know that he was doing this between Lyon and Botafogo before. So what sort of state are Lyon in right now? What's going to rear its head in Lyon? What's going to happen in Botafogo?
The only reason Lyon got out of their trouble in the first place, Johnny, was because Paris Saint-Germain gave them the gimme to say, don't worry, we owe you some money, not yet, but we'll pay it to you now.
Oh, well, hang on a minute. It also was the fact that the player on loan from Forest, no relation to Marinakis, happened to commit a foul and give away a penalty in the last minute, a suicidal penalty that gave them the penalty that allowed Lyon to then qualify for the Europa League. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been in it. Yeah.
What was his name? He went to Atletico Madrid, didn't he? Via Lyon. His name was the 10. Thiago Almada. Right, that guy was at Lyon. He was a 10, creative midfielder. He was at Lyon, but he was on loan from Botafogo. And in the end, he went to Atletico Madrid on the cheap. And what a player he is, by the way. Hey, John Textor, serious scrutiny needs to go into that guy. And if Marinakis gets into bed with him, then Marinakis is writing his own death now. His own death warrant, mate, because that guy has got debts up to his eyeballs. Right? It's insanity.
Player, the Argentinian boy. Really good player. Listen.
He is moving money around on a piece of paper, rolling debts up, and at some point the music stops, Johnny. At some point you can't dance with the devil any longer because the music has stopped. And this is not going to end well for anyone that's involved with that John Textor fella.
That story, the story about the multi-club ownership fund. Why would Marinakis? I mean, listen, if you want to get in bed with Marinakis and start a fund and run up debts like that and not pay them, you'll end up in a crate somewhere. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly, possibly, probably. Mate, the debts that he has. I mean, if you're Ares, though, you're not happy with like Ares have basically sat there and gone, listen, we'll let you continue. We won't take. We'll give you a reprieve, right? This is what Ares Capital have done here. They basically said we're probably better off just not taking over the clubs that you own, that we essentially own. We'd rather just do this payment in kind thing, where another year, another 12 months of debt you can't pay back.
So can you see?
Ares will end up owning the entirety of.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. They'll own. There's a very good chance they'll end up owning Leon and Botafogo.
I need to know. Hang on a second. Who bought 12%, 12.5% of PSG from QSI? Was it Ares? No, it was Arctos. Okay, so fine. Okay, so Arctos Partners got the 12.5%, but Ares will end up owning Leon and Botafogo, and they also and he also owns Molenbeek in Belgium.
They're not very happy with him either, are they?
No. I mean, what a story! Got to keep an eye on this one. It's madness, mate. It's absolutely madness. Should we round off? It looks like you're getting the tap on the shoulder.
Well, I've had the tap on the shoulder. It's time. Trying to make a sub. Trying to make a substitution. There was one last. Was there one last finance one?
We can. Well, I'll save it for tomorrow, mate. I'll save it for tomorrow if you want to go.
Okay. Yeah. No worries.
All right, guys.
Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Doesn't cost anything, and nor does that subscribe button. Guys, sorry to go on. We hate having to go on about the sub button, but the sub button is all about growing the channel. And, so many of you watch it and don't hit the subscribe button because I think they're going to have a weekly. It's not like buying a subscription to a magazine or a subscription to Apple Music or anything like that. It doesn't cost a penny. All it means, they should change the word subscribe, Sean. It's so misleading. Misleading. All it is follow. That's it. It's follow. Change the word from subscribe to follow. That's basically what it is. And if you're listening on audio, guys, please give us a follow on that. But I think that's about it. We've done a nice hour and a half there, Sean, for that one.
Yeah, great show. Great show. Lads and ladies, we'll love you and leave you. We'll see you tomorrow. I'll be on Spurs Talk Show doing a live stream at some point today or an upload. Check out that. Sean Butler TV, get over to Football Link. Football Link, get over to Sean Butler TV. Links will be in the description. And also check out Rabbit Hole Ramblings as well if you want to get conspiratorial for a little change. But Johnny, I'll let you go and enjoy your afternoon, mate, your evening. And it's goodbye from me.
And just to say, before I say the ending, thanks to everyone for your super chats and thanks to everyone who's hit the follow and subscribe button. We love you. Couldn't do it without it. And it's goodbye from me.
It's just goodbye from him.
Bye. And him.